And we had a few non-weapons. Well, pretty much all of your guys's were non-weapons. I'm gonna break that trend because I like stuff that blows up. Mine is the AFRL's mutant missile, and really it's what it is. And we'll play the story, but the front end of the missile like moves so it can track its target, which in this era of great power competition where we know air defense systems are going to be huge, even if we're taking on like the Houthi rebels, right, which is not necessarily great power. But they have these systems which are presenting a threat to us and our systems. So we need a way to counteract those things. And the mutant missile, in my mind, it's still being developed, but it's going to be one of those things that once it's in, it's probably going to be fielded sooner than later. Once it's out there, and Brett, you and I, we use the term game changer too much, but I really think this is going to be one of those game changing type systems. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the mutant missile.
When you hear the term mutant, you might think of a classic Hollywood B movie, or maybe my favorite Heroes in a Half Shell, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But the Air Force Research Lab, or AFRL, wants to add a new definition to your mental Rolodex. Meet the mutant missile. On the surface, it looks like most any other missile, but you don't get the mutant moniker unless there's something a little different at work. That would be the Articulation Control Actuation System. To put it in layman's terms, the head and fins of the missile can move to meet the target. The inspiration for this application actually came from another aerial aficionado.
They noticed a really interesting thing when these falcons would intercept their prey. As the head moved, the tail would move. And there seemed to be a cause and effect relationship between head movement and tail movement. Apart from that, there's a target tracking, a target detection function of the head. And so this got us thinking, because falcons have the same objectives as missiles and interceptors. Get the target and capture it.
Properly inspired, the AFRL engineers set about turning an idea into a reality. The missile on display at the recent AFA Warfare Symposium is the end result of years of work. The MUTANT, which is an acronym for Missile Utility Transformation via Articulated Nose Technology, is a weapon that can adjust for slight misses, while in flight, helping to ensure when a punch is thrown, it hits the target, whatever that may be. As for how that punch is thrown, well, the engineers are still working on it.
We're exploring a broad target set. We're looking at offensive roles, we're looking at defensive roles, we're looking at surface launch functions. All of these kind of go into our figuring about the future instance of a system that may employ this technology to provide overall operational value to the warfighter.
The MUTANT is set for testing later this year with the Hellfire missile. As for when it might be ready for use in the real world, that, as they say, is TBD.